know, too, that he probably is listening to this program. As I look at the board here, if the present trend continues, if Mr. Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, will be the next President of the United States. Effort, and I can assure you that every degree of mind and spirit that I possess will be devoted to the long-range interests of the United States and to the cause of freedom around the world. So now my wife and I prepare for a new administration and for a new baby. Thank you.
Time, in short, for a new generation of leadership. All over the world, particularly in the newer nations, young men are coming to power. Men who are not bound by the traditions of the past. Men who are not blinded by the old fears and hate and rivalries.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
I asked Robert Frost to come and speak at the inauguration because I felt he had something important to say to those of us who are occupied with the business of government. That he would remind us that we were dealing with life, the hopes and fears of millions of people. He has said it well in a poem called Choose Something Like a Star, in which he speaks of the fairest star in sight and says, it asks little of us here. It asks of us a certain height. So when at times the mob is swayed to carry praise or blame too far, we may choose something like a star to stay our mind on and be stayed.
Power leads man towards arrogance. Poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the areas that man concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of his existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses.
I have several announcements to make. First is one made at the request of Mrs. Kennedy. Since the election, the birth of our son, and the inauguration, Mrs. Kennedy and I have received over 100,000 letters and telegrams of congratulations and good wishes. They are now building up in available rooms at the White House. Unfortunately, it's not going to be possible for us to acknowledge and answer as we would like to answer each and every message. And therefore, I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of Mrs. Kennedy and myself to thank everyone who has been so kind and generous.
Mr. President, ever since you permitted the telecast of press conferences, a great deal of attention has been paid to little things that occur, especially in the home offices of newspapers. Would you save us a couple of hours' work tonight and explain what the Band-Aid is doing on your left hand?
Well, I cut my finger when I was cutting bread. Unbelievable as it may sound.
I think the press is a very valuable arm of the presidency because I don't think there's any doubt if you didn't have a free and critical press, there'd be much more tendency for limited information to come to the president. There's a great myth around that the president just hears good things. That is one of the most inaccurate. In the first place, when you get every morning an intelligence digest, it's always the critical points in the world. They never say things are very good in Tunisia. It's always what is wrong, because some action is usually required. So therefore, beginning really with the morning papers and the intelligence digest, you really are dealing usually with bad news all the time.